All right, here with Pat Kelsey, walking through the College of Charleston here. This is kind of my morning walk now. I've gotten used to this. I don't want to leave in a week and a half. What's this been like for you this year? 20-game winning streak, a completely new team. Don't tell me you had an idea this was coming.
No, I didn't. First of all, you mentioned Charleston.
Yeah.
Somebody told me when I first got here, it's easy to love and hard to leave. So going back up north, man, it's going to be tough for you. But
it snowed last night.
Look at this.
I know. Don't remind me. Don't remind me that I got to leave in about 10 days.
It's one of the most gorgeous settings for a college in the country. It's a great place to live, great place to raise a family. But you asked me about my thoughts on the team in the preseason. I wasn't sure. I think we had a chance to be pretty good. I was talking to somebody last night, a high school coach that was at my daughter's game, and we practiced in his gym in the preseason, and he walked out, and he was like, do you have enough playmakers? And I go, I don't know. Maybe. I think so.
Yeah.
What we do have is grown men. What we do have is unbelievable locker room leadership, a team that hasn't changed one iota from the first game of the season till now in terms of preparation. So it's a fun group to coach, and hopefully we can keep it rolling.
I mean, think about this. You haven't lost since November 11th against Carolina. November 11th.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Insane to think about?
It's crazy. And, you look at the calendar, and it's like, man, March is
that far
right
away.
Around the corner. Right. But again, I think with this group, it just goes back to, we always talk about being great at the next thing.
Yeah.
And whether that's the next film session, the next strength training session, the next practice, those guys are just locked into excellence in the process. I know it's boring coach speak, but it's
not. After being around you and these kids, it's not boring, because I spent some time with each one of them, and each one's story is kind of more amazing than the next. And your leading scorer, Dalton, his story is ridiculous. I mean, the fact that he didn't have an offer coming out of high school for anything, right. Division 1, 2, 3, whatever, and
our city. Let's go. Our city.
And he goes, right, like he redshirts his first year, and then he has an eye injury, has multiple eye surgeries. They tell him to sit the season, and instead, he's your type of dude, because what does he do? He throws on a damn eye patch.
An eye patch, a pirate patch.
A pirate patch.
Look it up, it's unbelievable.
I need the pictures. I can't believe I didn't get a picture of that, but we'll get it.
Tommy will put a slide in.
But not only does he play with a patch, he shoots 41% from three with the damn patch. Why don't you have him wear the patch this year?
He's an example, but there's many guys on our roster like that were under-recruited, maybe undervalued out of high school, the old proverbial chip on your shoulder. Dogs, that's such an affectionate term in sports and in basketball and in coaching and recruiting, but we got a bunch of dogs, and Dalton's one of them, playing with an eye patch. There's another crazy story where he fell on his bike or something his freshman year in high school and sliced his leg open, had a football game that night, was afraid to tell his parents because they thought he wouldn't let him play, so he super glued the gash shut so he could play football that night. I mean, there's just more of them, man. He's one of a kind.
I love him, man.
Psycho D's his nickname, but not a lot of people know, too. He's the #1 academic All-American in the country.
Yeah.
We all know people like that are crazy smart, but in terms of street smarts, he doesn't know left from right sometimes.
He was like teaching classes at West Liberty, right?
He was actually teaching anatomy at West Liberty. That's nuts.
A lot smarter than you and me.
Oh, my God. I got to add my SAT score times 2 to get the Daltons.
No doubt. You got a big one against Hofstra coming up this weekend, Saturday. They're tied for second place in the league. Have you ever thought of now, obviously going into the year, you're never thinking about at-large, being a mid-major. Not really, right? But now you got to start to kind of think about that. Are you talking to your team at all? I know it's next day for you. I know you don't want to look down the road, but is it creeping in the back of your head of like, how many do we need to win here to try to make sure we can get in as an at-large? Because it is difficult to get in as at-large coming from the CAA or some of these other mid-major leagues.
I mean, that's why they pay you the heavy money to talk about things like that. And trust me, I know that that's a possibility. Media's talking about it. The city's talking about it. College basketball's talking about it. So does it seep into my head sometimes? It's impossible not to unless you just throw away your phone and turn off the radio or the television. The only way that's going to happen is if, we're great at the next practice. And I know, man, it's just, you want a more exciting interview, but like that's the only thing. Would it be awesome to have an opportunity to get an at-large bid? Yeah, it'd be great, but you know, it'd be more awesome winning the stinking conference tournament, not worrying about it.
Right.
But
and that's what you have to do.
To put ourselves in that position where if something like that were to happen, we could still get in the dance. Obviously, it would be great.
What has this ride been like for you? I've known you 20 years, okay?
Yeah.
I knew you when you were an assistant, when you were recruiting that class at Wake that was ridiculous, right? Jeff Teague, Farouk, James Johnson, Ish Smith, all those dudes.
Right.
And still Skip Prosser, I know what he meant to you.
Yeah.
One of the best ever. I mean, the best ever. Like, I miss him, and I wasn't nearly as close with him as you were. What's this road been like for you? Because you stepped away for a year. People don't remember this. Right. You stepped away and did what in that year?
Well, you know, if you can do it, what an unbelievable thing to have a basketball sabbatical in the midst of all this nuts, craziness thing called coaching that we do. And it was an unbelievable time for me to reconnect, obviously, with my family, with my faith, just to reset. Went back with a whole new energy, and as you know, I have a little bit of that. And
just a little.
So it was good. You mentioned Skip Prosser. Yeah. You know, Dino said at one time he might be the most successful head coach ever in college basketball to not have one single enemy.
That's true.
And I think that describes Skip as well as anything. This journey's been crazy, but been fun. I think what I've learned over the years, maybe it's through some of those things that went on earlier in my career, is just to enjoy the process, to enjoy every day, and not look out in the future, not look behind, but just engage every day in what I have. And that's really, really special. This unbelievable city. I have a team and a locker room full of guys that are an absolute joy to coach. I'm about 2.5 minutes from the Atlantic Ocean.
That's not bad either.
That's not bad. No. World-class restaurant, shopping in our city, as we call it. Life's pretty good, man, and I'm enjoying every single stinking second of it.
You know, you were almost my neighbor a few years ago at UMass, too.
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, that whole situation, I don't need to go into details, why you didn't take it or anything like that, but just the fact that life sometimes works out in mysterious ways, right? Like, and this thing is all played out really well for you. You take the time off, you get the Winthrop job, then you come here and a lot of people look at you like, well, Winthrop to Charleston, isn't that a lateral move, right? Did you get some of that?
You got some of that. You know, maybe it's kind of the path less taken, the one that we took, but it was the right one for me and my family. I'm hoping that whatever it is after Chuck, our city. What's up, man? Our city. No, I'm hoping that I can finally go up to Massachusetts this summer. I want to take my son to a Red Sox game and to go to Fenway without wearing sunglasses and a hat real low and a hood up. And not fear for my safety, but man, I have such respect for that program and the history of that program. And you know, it's just the way it worked out, and I wish them the best of luck, and things have worked out pretty well on this end.
So we're coming out to, you know, the coolest part, well, maybe not the coolest part, the beach is probably the coolest part of Charleston still, but this is kind of King Street. So here's the crazy part. So my wife rents a place, an Airbnb here, and she doesn't know where she's renting, whatever. We're here the first week and a half, and it's super quiet, right? Super quiet. We're like, this is the place.
Right.
We love the place itself is beautiful, perfect location, 3 blocks from Halls, couldn't be better. Then all of a sudden the kids come back from break.
It's rocking.
Oh, 1 in the morning, we got like 7 dudes singing the Star Spangled Banner at 1 in the morning at the top of their lungs.
Yeah, a few our city shout outs, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was, but you know what? Like,
so where'd you end up?
So much
Where are you
going
at?
on.
You still here?
Yeah, we're still here. We extended our stay 2 more weeks.
I mean, here's the thing, like,
it's
you talk about the Magnificent Mile in Chicago, you talk about Rodeo Drive in LA.
Yep.
I'd put the vibe and the energy that King Street has in Charleston, South Carolina up against any of them. There's a buzz here, there's a heartbeat, the restaurants, the shopping, the bars.
It's got everything. I mean, it honestly has everything. Again, you know, I may be your neighbor full-time here soon, we'll see, next year. But no, it's a great place to live.
And
when you got good basketball here too, like I can walk 10 minutes and I'm gonna walk 10 minutes and see you guys play Saturday.
Yeah, so I think that's the other thing. And that's kind of the vision we had when we got the job here.
But you didn't think it would be this quick. Like, that's the thing. In year 2 to be able to do this, and again, you did it with a bunch of dudes that really, let's face it, not a lot of people wanted.
Right. Well, we came up with the slogan, Our City, because the mindset and the vision was to connect this city with our basketball program. Obviously, it's a world-class city. 7 million visitors a year come here. And, you know, what John Kress built years and years ago and what Bobby Cremins did, the success that Earl had here, obviously there's a passion for basketball.
Yeah.
And the vision was to make it can't miss TV. The vision was to make it where you couldn't get a stinking ticket. And in fact, the other day, my brother sent me a screenshot on Ticketmaster of available tickets on the secondary market. Upper deck for this weekend's game was like $350, $400
That's
bucks.
insane.
Like, that's awesome. I mean, I hate the fact that students got turned away the other day for the game. We got to figure out a way to get more of them in the game.
Yeah.
But just to be saying those words is really, really cool. And TD Arena, we call it the 6 because of touchdown, TD, 6-man. It's become, I think, one of the best venues in college basketball.
Where are you watching your Bengals Sunday?
Probably in my living room. I don't know when this will air, because I don't want my kids to see it and get excited. I'll be honest with you. I looked up flights this morning. I checked up secondary ticket market in Kansas City. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, man. The Bengals are special. Joe Burrow is reincarnation of Joe Montana.
Yep.
And you got to ride this while we're on this roller coaster, and it's been fun.
All right, well, listen, it's been fun being here. Really fun. You got to keep it going.
Yep.
Get a win on Saturday against a really good Hofstra team with Aaron Estrada.
Will you do me a favor?
Yeah, of course.
When you get back up to Boston, you go over to Providence. Coach Cooley does such a great job. One of the finest men in college coaching is a guy named Jeff Battle, a brother to me, a father figure to me. Could be a head coach tomorrow if he wanted to. Please tell him I said hello. I love him.
I will. Good seeing you.
All right, Goody. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.